Last week, on April 12, 2024, the Trudeau government's recent launch of an ambitious housing crisis plan has stirred a flurry of interest and commentary. The plan aims to construct nearly 3.9 million homes by 2031, a target that's been deemed both necessary and formidable, considering the long-standing issue of housing affordability spiraling out of control.
More fair for all
Hi,
the
Prime Minister, Alice
generations.
Globe and Mail. Back to provincial relations. Alberta has a new bill that seeks to stop your government or federal governments from negotiating directly with municipalities, essentially saying stick to national policy, not in my backyard. And she says it would be inefficient for you to negotiate all of these agreements with hundreds of municipalities. Can you respond to her criticisms and why you would still pursue this?
It seems like it was only a few months ago that I pointed out quite accurately that the federal government doesn't have a whole lot of direct carriage of housing, that it is very much a provincial and municipal responsibility. The federal government has certain responsibilities that we've been stepping up on since 2017, but I pointed out that this is not something the federal government can solve alone. And over the following weeks and months, we heard from a cavalcade of premiers saying, see, the federal government needs to step up more, needs to do more. It's trying to get out of the business of housing. The federal government needs to step up and fix this housing crisis that we've seen across the country. So we are. Provinces should be careful what they wish for. They want the federal government to fix this housing crisis? We are. We will. Now, let me be very clear. It'll be much better if the provinces continue to step up with significant ambition. And we've seen a number of provinces do that. When we announced the Housing Accelerator funding, $4 billion across the country, Quebec said, you know what? We'll actually match the $900 million you're sending to municipalities in Quebec. We'll double it, and we'll do even more, even faster. BC came forward and said, you know what? There's a BC Builds program we've wanted to build around affordable housing. If you can match the money we're doing, we'll do even more. And we did that. And we created the Canada Builds program. And we're working directly with municipalities that want to be super ambitious. The 3 mayors that are here today represent municipalities that signed housing accelerator agreements worth in excess of $150 million that's going to create 4,000 units over the coming years in this region. These are things we are doing concretely where we recognize that Canadians need help and support and investment, and don't so much care about whose responsibility it is first and foremost. They just want it to get done, and that's why we are there to work hand in hand in full respect with those provinces who want to solve the problem, and ask those provinces that don't want to solve the problem to just get out of the way while we solve that problem that Canadians are facing.
Let me talk a little about it. Don't you think it is great Canadian housing odyssey? Has an epic ever been this nail-bitingly mundane? Look out world, we're building houses. While I stand to applaud the new plan conjured up by the Trudeau government, it's heartbreaking that making homes aplenty feels like a godsend rather than the norm. Behold the blueprint served on a silver platter: pour concrete, raise beams, rinse, and repeat until every Canadian finds themselves nestled in the nook of their very own abode. The premise: a sprightly mix of leasing land like it's a monopoly board, waving around tax incentives like Hogwarts Earth's finest wands, and a generous pinch of billions in investment because what's a few billion between friends? And yet, the spirits of would-be homeowners, anxiously clutching at their lottery tickets of hope, are perpetually tested. Prices soaring skyward, aware we're convinced the dream of homeownership firmly resides set, and vacancy rates hugging the floor like a stubborn stain. It's the Canadian real estate tango that we've danced since 2015. Enter the robust, if not Herculean, goal of erecting 3.9 million houses by the stroke of 2031's midnight. Now, that's a deadline destined to haunt Housing Minister Sean Fraser's dreams, no doubt. But let's not frown upon ambition, for it's the yeast that raises our collective dough of nation building. The question perched on everyone's lips is, but will it work? The heart of the country throbs to a chorus of savvy economists, armchair critics, and the gentle whispers of the every mana all with a stake in this grand play. When the curtain rises, will we marvel at a landscape dotted with homes? Or will we be left staring at the same old set, paint peeling and dull? So, Canadians, I say we buckle up our proverbial snowshoes and trek through this long, wintry path of housing market reform. As we emerge on the other side, let's ensure it's with a key in hand, not a cardboard cutout. It's time the warmth of a home isn't a luxury but the staple as Canadian as maple syrup desired by the many and withheld from none. In this great Canadian tale of housing woes and triumphs, may each chapter that unfolds lead to a denouement rich with welcoming doorsteps and the chipper tunes of neighborhood block parties. Cheers to homes, hopes, and the indomitable spirit that propels the maple leaf forward up into the realms of concrete bliss and beyond.